Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about, I was going to say popcorn.
Talk about popcorn, caramel, all your kind of butter, caramel. That cheddar crap no one likes.
Keep that cheddar for yourself. Hey everybody, welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We're your hosts, Chris Hart.
Kevin Hart.
And today we're going to be talking about episode 1 of Loki.
Stick around to the end of the episode, see how a drawing of Loki came out. And if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel for more content.
So here we are. This is now the third installment of Marvel Disney Plus television. Loki, this was inevitable, because we saw an Endgame.
10 years in the making.
Yeah, we saw at the end of Endgame, Loki got the Tesseract again and disappeared. And obviously, that Loki was different from the one that dies in Infinity War. So we knew that he was going to be up to shenanigans again, which they show. I'm glad that they showed a little bit of a recap.
Yeah,
to open up the episode. Yeah, it's like, it's been about what, like a year and a half, 2 years. So it's like, all right, yeah, recap us and then get us right into the story. Overall, I really like this pilot episode. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I love how it right away jumps in. It recaps us real quick. It was really nice to see 2012 New York again. I was like, oh man, the beginning of it all, right?
Yeah.
Like that first Avengers
Like
movie.
a sacred moment in
Yeah,
the MCU.
just so many good nostalgia, memories, and just feelings attached to that movie and the journey that we've come on so far as an audience member watching the MCU grow into what it is today. It goes right into the story. You know, TVA, we get introduced to Owen Wilson. I think his character's name is Mobius. I like that he's in there, and he was funny too.
I'm glad to see his broken nose show up again. Dude has all the money in the world, can't fix that nose. that schnoz don't lie.
Yeah, that nose is no good in any timeline.
Wow.
I will say, though, that I am most excited for this television MCU series because I was a little disappointed by WandaVision. That one had a lot of steam going for it. After like 2 or 3 episodes, it fell apart for me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was underwhelming as a whole, I feel, but it was a good ending too with, getting new Captain Falcon, as everyone's calling him. But this one, I hope that it delivers. Even Kevin Feige himself has said, despite all the noise, this TV show will have the most impact on the MCU going forward. It seems like it will. I hope that it delivers on that because we're dealing with timelines, the timekeepers.
Multiverse.
Yeah. Loki comes into the TVA. He's got Dino DNA, Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park, except her name was Miss Minutes, I believe it was. I love the animation. And I love that room. Whoever's doing the set design, they need to make like a theme park. Immediately I thought was theme park ride based on this Loki.
Of the TVA.
Yeah, I was like, cash in on that right now.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of like going to the DMV, but like, supernatural. It was really cool. And going back to that animation sequence, I was loving that. It was very like Hanna-Barbera, like the Jeffersons.
The Jetsons. I know you're going to say.
Jetsons, Flintstones, all that, like those old like 60s like cartoons, which I'm a sucker for. And the textures. God, the textures on that sequence. There's so many little like brushes and different things as an artist that I was just like, I loved everything about it. And it was a nice little like, little exposition for an audience member, especially for those that may not be like heavily into comics or the comic genre and be like, okay, what's going on, And I do like too how it said that like, oh, like the timekeepers protect the sacred timeline.
The sacred timeline.
Yeah, so if you were like starting an uprising or even late to work one day, it creates
God forbid.
it creates a nexus. And I was like, if that's true, I have wrecked the timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't the guy in the middle kind of look like Kang? Even like the carved stone or wood, whatever it is of like basically the gods, like the Trinity gods looking thing, the timekeepers. It looks like Kang, so I hope that this is how they introduce Kang somehow. I know that he's like rumored to be an Ant-Man.
I think he's confirmed to be an Ant-Man.
Quantumania. But I hope that this has some sort of impact because his whole thing is about time. So I hope that he's kind of
He'll
like...
be showing up, I'm sure, at some point.
It's just a matter of time, pun intended. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Well, that's the thing, too, is like just the crossoverness of, like you said, it would cause a nexus or whatever. Nexus was like the commercial in WandaVision that I was like, oh my God, multiverse, this and that. Like every fan was theorizing what was going to happen of opening the multiverse because she's going to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So I'm just waiting to see how they finally open this up. And it seems like this is finally the avenue that they're going with the multiverse because they said in the beginning of time, like there was this whole multiversal war. I would love a movie showcasing that or us going back and like somehow going into that timeline. with this timeline that's now, I'm like excited with the possibilities that this offers from a storytelling aspect.
Especially now that Marvel's in this weird position. They're in a post-Endgame world. We've seen it all at this point. So now they have to kind of adapt and evolve and make the MCU more expansive and find new ways of telling different stories so that it doesn't get rinse and repeat and repetitive. I feel like these shows are the way to keep like connecting the movies, to keep them interesting. And I'm excited to see where, like you said, all these things end up with the multiverse. I'm really excited to see the Doctor Strange movie, because I feel like that's going to be like the culmination of all of this.
Yes.
And it'll be worth it. Nice payoff. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. But overall, I really like this show and the tone of it. Let's talk about the tone of it. What'd you think about like the humor and comedy?
It 100% worked for me. All of it worked. You know, the way that Loki's playing and like being toyed around with by the remote control with time and stuff was great. Just realizing how powerless he was between the Infinity Stones. They're just like they're
chilling
like
in a drawer.
They're paperweights, which is crazy. Loki too, just seeing his life flash before him and the emotions behind that, and just like the feeling of like defeat upon that, and like him reflecting on life. It's gonna be cool to see his character change throughout this, because now I'm just glad that we got villain Loki back. He kind of became like
I liked
villain
Loki, though.
Anti-hero kind of hero, you know, like I did like the way
he went through like a hell of an arc.
Crazy
as a character.
But now I'm glad to see, because even when they were showcasing his early memories, I was like, that's right, these are his memories from this moment. We've seen so much more, and it kind of like caught us back
things
up.
that this current Loki
has no clue. Yeah. So that was cool to see.
Which was cool because, like, when you think about it, too, it's, like, kind of sad when he's, like, watching. It's, like, hopeless when he's watching, like, the future of him dying. And it's, like, yeah, like, his whole, like, mission in life was to rule. But it was, like, for what? Like, what does it all mean? Like, what is your identity? So I feel like this show is really going to, like, give us a sick character arc here with Loki. It's not going to be one note, oh, rule this, rule that, typical, you know, villain of the week thing. Now we're going to see, like, he even says, he's like, oh, is this time variant, like,
the most powerful thing
in the universe,
crazy.
Because his magic wasn't working. The stones are useless. So now he sees that, and he's gonna he's kind of being forced to work with these people anyway. And then we see the twist at the end
that he's the villain.
Yeah, which
That's
I
what
think
I'm saying
is amazing.
Is that because he knows? Okay, is this the most powerful thing? Is that him in the future? And now, like, he's like, because the whole thing is about knowing yourself. He's like, oh, so you do know yourself. And, like, that's what I'm saying, is that whole theme of, like, self-reflection as a villain is crazy. How they're doing is crazy.
It's great, yeah.
But is that a twist? Because they didn't really show Loki at the end. They showed the guy throw the flame and take the reset time bomb or whatever, which I think is so sick. They said it was Loki, but they didn't show it. So is there something else going on? Like, that's what I'm just like curious. I'm so intrigued by this show.
No, I think it's him. Now, I mean, with this news now that Loki's gender fluid, which comic fans know, but are they going to show like a different form of him, a female? Because in the comic books, he's been a female, a child.
Yeah.
Like he's been a few different things, but I'm hoping it is just him again. Because even some of the posters, it's just like different forms of Loki throughout time.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have the technology to do 2 different Tom Hiddlestons in one area.
Even the trailer shows like when he's got the horns and he's got the knives or whatever.
Yeah.
It looks like he kind of betrays them and like plays on them. The fact that there is 2 Lokis, that might be very cool to see. Almost like that fight with Captain America, like America's ass. Like, are we gonna get that scene but with Loki? That's gonna be so crazy to see. Does Tom Hiddleston get 2 paychecks?
Acting is like a similar character but in a different time. That must be fun for an actor to do, you know? So I'm excited to see how he plays it, because Tom Hiddleston's a great actor.
He's a great actor, yeah.
And he's even like been rumored to be like the next James Bond and stuff too. So I feel like this is his chance to really like show his chops as an actor. Just going back to the tone a little bit too, the comedy. Sometimes Marvel is a little like heavy-handed with the comedy and it's almost like slapsticky at times.
It's like ABC
and it's
family
like, okay,
drama.
We get it, you know, like you're trying to be funny. Sometimes they go a little overhand with it. This definitely, like you said, felt natural.
Yeah.
It worked for me. Sometimes I do like the Tony Stark eye roll with some of the Marvel humor in recent years, but this one definitely works. Marvel's comedy is hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes it's perfect, and then sometimes it's just like try hard, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
That's why I like Owen Wilson's character so much, because he's so genuine and like heartfelt towards Loki. Everyone else in the TVA is ready to like time baton him out of existence. He's like
Loki shows up to like turn off the body cam.
Yeah, exactly. Hide the body cam. He's just the vehicle of this show, I feel, Owen Wilson, like, and I'm excited to see Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson like back and forth with the comedy. Maybe Tom Hiddleston will even be how Chris Hemsworth was with the comedy and stuff, how these characters started off serious, but then if you add a little bit of their flavor and their talents, there's a whole nother depth to the character. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see how the show plays out. I believe it's 6 episodes. I hope that this show delivers it from Marvel, because I've been really like underwhelmed, and I'm just excited to be back into a theater, because even at the at-home experience, it's not the same to me. I want to be with the fans, the audience.
I think that this show is probably the first show out of all the 3 so far to really like give me some
Pull
of
me
that.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like okay, like we're gonna go on an adventure here.
Yeah, I'm the most excited for this, especially because Tom Hiddleston's been here from the beginning.
Yes.
So it's almost like if you weren't into the first 2 shows, it's because they were characters that came in later in the game. This guy's an OG. He's been it from the get. Is this the last we see of Tom Hiddleston? Because he's been on this ride for how long? Is he gonna die playing Loki? Yeah. Like, is he going to the grave with this character?
He already died in Infinity War.
Yeah. No, but as a human being, as a human being, is he gonna
resurrections this time?
Yeah. Is he gonna go to the grave playing Loki? That'd be the most impressive thing for an actor to do. He's definitely cemented his like part in cinematic history, superhero fandom. So, I'm very excited to see where the show goes. What did you guys think about episode 1 of Loki? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!